Thanks, Chris. First, I would like to thank the Irvine Chamber of Commerce for inviting me to be here. I first would like to apologize for my somewhat unkempt look right now. As Chris was saying, you guys are in beta as far as this broadcast is concerned. The team right now is in beta. We're working on our latest game, and we're a few weeks away from shipping, which means for us that we're in crunch mode. We don't get to see our families that much these days, and hence the look right now. I was luckily able to find a shirt before coming here. Yeah, being in crunch, that's kind of what we're all about in some ways, as far as an industry is concerned. But what I'll talk to you about is first of all, like where I started and why I came here and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I started ways away from here. I mean, far away in Switzerland, back in Europe. I studied over there. I studied something completely different, car design, and ended by coming to Los Angeles to finish my degree. And at the time, car design was based pretty much around LA as far as the main studios were concerned. And strangely enough, they were based in Orange County and some in the north in Simi Valley, but mostly basically on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I decided to switch career at the time, right after my first interview with the car company, just because I felt it wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't what I was meant to do in some ways. I love drawing, and some of the people that I met at the time kind of guided me towards game companies. The first company I applied to was Blizzard. That was luckily the only company I had to apply to because they gave me a job straight away. And again, circumstances were that I didn't know where Blizzard was exactly. I just sent it, out, and I realized they were in Orange County, right next to the car companies. And that's also not a coincidence. I ended up by coming to Blizzard and started there working on StarCraft back in the 90s. We were a small team at the time. The team right now, just to give you an idea, has grown to over, I think, worldwide 3,000 people. I don't think we were more than overall maybe somewhere between 50 and 100 at the time. So a very different scene. But there is a very strong reason why Blizzard actually was based here and why car companies are based here. We're in a creative environment. What we do requires us to be in somewhat of a good mood every day when we do what we do. And you definitely don't want to be in a place where it's raining all the time, or, yes, other places have their pluses, but one of the beautiful things about being in Orange County is that we're around sunshine all the time. There's, 3 seasons of summer and 1 of spring, pretty much, as far as I've seen, coming from a place where things got really cold sometimes. But it helped. It really does help us in an environment where we end up by working there a lot, being in crunch like we are today, to be in an environment where we can get out and actually, it's sunny outside, we can take a break, we can be in an environment where, it makes it easy for us to rest in some ways or the other. So Blizzard was a place where I learned to do what I did. As people know, back then, Blizzard wasn't what it is today. Today, it is the biggest developer actually in the world, single developer publisher in the world. There are bigger publishers, of course. There are owners, Activision, but Blizzard itself publishes their own games under their label, and they have become probably the most lucrative business in the gaming industry around the world. And the thing about it is that what we saw and what I saw being at Blizzard was a way of making games that I think a lot of people are trying to emulate, are trying to diversify into. There's more and more game companies today. And what I learned at Blizzard, I thought I could apply to somewhere new, a new place. I always, me and my partners, I have 2 other business partners, we always questioned whether or not it was something that we could replicate. It's always hard to know whether your ideas are going to work unless you take the risk, you put everything on the line, and you try to make it work. I left Blizzard. One of my other partners also was from Blizzard. My third partner is from Naughty Dog, a company that's based in Santa Monica. We all decided to start this company for different reasons, because we had ideas. For me and Andrea, my partner who was at Blizzard, it was mainly we knew each other. We knew that we could work really well together. For my other partner, Didier, it was also that he wanted to try his ideas out. But funnily enough, for 4 years, he commuted from Orange County, from Irvine, to Santa Monica to go work there. And with the same schedule, late nights and all that, and he couldn't do it anymore. So the reason why we didn't move out and he stayed here was because as time passed, the talent pool in this area started to grow more and more. We were probably, I would say, a few, maybe less than a dozen companies back in the end of the 90s, I would say, in Orange County that were making games. From the last count I saw, it's over 40 companies, I believe, that are around, and not only companies that are making games and developers, but also publisher studios that are around. I know that Square was here at one time. There's a lot of growth in that environment. We started Ready at Dawn for the sake of trying what we wanted to try, knowing that we could fail and hoping that we wouldn't. We started with the three of us, actually, from our homes, working from our computers, sending stuff back and forth, and got our studios in January 2004. It was just a small office. It was 4 of us now, 3 of us plus an IS manager. And we have grown to be actually today over 40 people, I believe. There was one point about a few months ago that we were slightly bigger than this, but we restructured a little bit, and a few people had to be, unfortunately let go. But it was a steady growth. We've been around for 6 years now. It's been a steady growth, going through the games that we did with a relationship with a publisher that's been very fruitful for us. We signed a deal back in 2003 with Sony. That was the first deal we signed. We actually formed the company before the deal was signed, but we did not announce the company until the deal was signed. So we had kind of like all our ducks in a row when we started, telling the world that we were around. And we started in 2004 with our first game, Daxter. It was a 2-year cycle. We worked out of a studio right next to the Tustin Air Force Base, the I should say, Air Force or Marine Corps Base. I'm not sure which one it is. And by the time we had finished after 2 years, we were about 25, I believe. So steady growth. Some companies end up by growing very fast. There are companies here that are working on MMOs that have grown from the 5-10 people that they started with to being over 100 within 2 years. And again, they were lucky enough that the talent pool is around in Orange County and in Irvine to make that happen, to be able to actually hire those people. One of the great things for us to hire these people and to have I think not only have the pedigree that we had to get those guys to come and work for us, the other thing that we had going for us was really living in Irvine, which was that when somebody came from somewhere else and we showed them around and we showed them what was available here, it was very easy for them to think, they don't have to really think about much. Everything's thought out for them. The city is kind of thought out for them to come in and just start working, have an apartment. One of the jokes that I told Bob during the interview was that the first time I actually lived in an apartment here, it felt like Club Med because everything's there. Where so many people are so used to living in a place and having to go everywhere to do everything else. But in Orange County, and especially in Irvine with the Irvine company, you end up by being there and spending your life there, barbecuing there, spending time in the swimming pool, getting your friends in the same environment. And that makes it easy for people who are completely foreign to this environment to come in and feel like they have a life. And that's the most important thing. Working is one thing, having a life is another one. And the social life, we know today that our social lives are more important than anything else. And I think we've seen companies come and go and people be unhappy at a lot of places. Luckily for us, most of the people who have joined us over the years have stuck with us. To give you an idea, I think the majority of the people we have at least, I would say, maybe 6-7 years of experience in the industry, in this industry that it's not that old, especially. But our turnover rate, I would say, is, wow, I've never really looked at it. I should have thought of that before coming here. But I can probably tell you that it's we lose maybe 1 to 2 people a year, to circumstances whether they want to go outside, find another job at another company. But strangely enough, most of the people who have left, they've left because they wanted to settle somewhere else with their family and be around their family. Whether it was going back to Texas, we had a lot of people basically move out for those reasons. So we've been lucky in some ways to retain the talent, not only because we have the projects for them to work on, not only because I think the guys get along really well, but also because this environment allows them to really be happy and be in a good place to work on the games we do.